Welcome back to K-Drama Cycle, where we bring you the stories behind the headlines, the truths behind the screen, and the emotions that connect us to our stars. Today's episode is not an easy one, but it's an important one. We're diving into the quiet and hidden life of Yu Menglong before the tragedy that shocked millions. His death left fans devastated, but his life, especially the parts away from the spotlight, tells a story of simplicity, passion, and struggles few ever knew. Yu Menglong wasn't just an actor and singer adored for his good looks and charming personality. Behind the fame, he was a man who valued the small, meaningful moments, coffee in the morning, time with close friends, and a love for creating art beyond the cameras. For many, his roles defined him. But in truth, his quiet lifestyle painted a far deeper picture of who he really was. In the years leading up to the tragedy, Yu Menglong deliberately pulled away from the fast-paced, overwhelming world of fame. While others chased bigger roles and international recognition, he preferred a slower rhythm. He often said in interviews that happiness wasn't about the applause or the flashing lights, but about peace of mind. He wanted to live sincerely, even if that meant stepping away from the noise of the industry. At home, Yu Menglong lived simply. His apartment wasn't filled with extravagant luxuries. Instead, it was said to be warm, cozy, filled with books, music, and a few plants that he cared for himself. He loved cooking, often experimenting in the kitchen, and even shared photos of his homemade meals with close friends. It was a glimpse into a man who sought grounding in everyday activities rather than the chaos of fame. Friends close to him revealed that Yu Menglong cherished deep, meaningful connections over large social circles. He wasn't the type to be constantly out partying or attending endless industry events. Instead, he preferred intimate gatherings with people he trusted, often spending quiet evenings playing music or having thoughtful conversations. It was in these moments that his loved ones saw the real him, gentle, reflective, and at times, quietly burdened. Music was one of his greatest escapes. While fans knew him for his roles on screen, his guitar and piano were said to be his truest companions. Whenever he felt overwhelmed, he turned to songwriting, not for fame or charts, but for healing. Several unreleased tracks reportedly exist, heartfelt pieces where he poured out his emotions, songs about loneliness, hope, and love unspoken. To him, music was therapy. But behind his calm lifestyle, there were struggles. Fame, though glittering from the outside, carried heavy pressures. Being in the public eye meant facing criticism, rumors, and the constant need to meet expectations. For someone as sensitive and reflective as Yu Menglong, this was draining. He often spoke of wanting to disappear from the noise, to just live quietly without the pressure of being perfect. His closest friends shared that he wrestled with questions many artists face. Who am I outside of my fame? Do people love me for me, or only for the characters I play? These questions weighed heavily on him. And though he didn't always share his struggles publicly, those closest to him felt his internal conflict. Fans may recall how, in some of his last interviews, Yu Menglong's tone had shifted. While still polite and charming, he seemed more reserved, reflective, even distant at times. Some now look back at those moments as silent cries for peace, words that hinted at the weight he was carrying. Yet, even with these struggles, Yu Menglong was deeply grateful for his fans. He never stopped acknowledging their love and support. He often said his career was possible because of the people who believed in him. That gratitude was genuine, even if he sometimes struggled to balance the demands that came with it. What few people knew was how deeply he valued solitude. Long walks, quiet nights by the window, watching the city lights, these were the little things that brought him comfort. Unlike many stars who thrive in constant attention, Yu Menglong needed the opposite. Peace and space weren't luxuries for him, they were survival. The tragedy of his passing has left a wound that words can't heal. But in revisiting his lifestyle before his death, we find a story not of emptiness, but of a man searching for authenticity. He was someone who, despite his struggles, never stopped chasing peace, sincerity, and love in its truest forms. His legacy isn't just about the shows he acted in or the songs he sang. It's about reminding us that behind every star is a human being, with dreams, battles, and quiet moments of both joy and pain. Yu Menglong's quiet life teaches us the importance of listening, of valuing the small things, and of checking on those who seem the strongest yet fight silent battles. As we reflect on his journey, we remember him not for the tragedy, but for the beauty he brought into the world. Through his roles, his music, his laughter, and even his quiet presence, Yu Menglong touched lives. And though he's no longer here, the lessons from his lifestyle remain. Be authentic, cherish the people around you, and never underestimate the power of simply being present. This was Yu Menglong's quiet life before the tragedy, what few ever knew, but what we should all remember. This is K-Drama Cycle, where we honor the lives of those who left too soon and celebrate the truths that make them unforgettable. Until next time, keep their memory alive in your heart. But the story of Yu Menglong's life before the tragedy doesn't end with just quiet nights and hidden struggles. There is more to uncover, layers of a man who balanced the demands of fame with a personal mission to live fully and authentically. One of the things that stood out about Yu Menglong was how deeply he cared for his family. Though he rarely spoke about them publicly, those close to him revealed that family was his anchor. He visited them often, away from cameras, away from the attention. At home, he was not the celebrity Yu Menglong, but simply a son, a brother, a loved one. He valued those private family dinners and conversations, moments that gave him strength when the outside world felt too heavy. Fans often wondered why Yu Menglong sometimes seemed withdrawn from the limelight. The truth is, he wanted to build a life that wasn't entirely defined by his career. He dreamed of traveling quietly, exploring places without being recognized, meeting people not for fame but for genuine connection. Friends say he even kept a private journal, where he wrote about places he wanted to see and experiences he longed for, dreams that showed his yearning for a simple but meaningful existence. When it came to love, Yu Menglong kept his heart guarded, at least in public. Rumors often circulated about his relationships, but he rarely addressed them. Some insiders claimed he once spoke about wanting to find someone who could accept both his fame and his need for privacy. It wasn't about flashy romance or media attention for him. It was about trust, comfort, and understanding. Whether or not he found that person remains a mystery, but it reveals a man searching for the same love and acceptance we all desire. Another aspect of Yu Menglong's life that fans may not know is his kindness behind the scenes. Colleagues and crew members often described him as humble, respectful, and approachable. Unlike some stars who carried egos onto the set, Yu Menglong treated everyone with warmth. He was known to greet every staff member personally, to thank them for their work, and even to share meals with them. These simple gestures left lasting impressions, showing his true character beyond the screen. And then there was his passion for learning. Yu Menglong had an unending curiosity about the world. He read books on philosophy, psychology, and history, often sharing small insights with friends. For him, knowledge wasn't just about career improvement, it was about understanding life and people better. Those close to him often said that in conversations, he listened more than he spoke, a rare quality in an industry built on constant self-promotion. Even his interactions with fans reflected his unique nature. At fan meets, while others rushed through greetings, Yu Menglong took time to look people in the eye, to really listen when they spoke. Fans often described leaving his presence with the sense that he truly cared, even if only for those few seconds. It was this sincerity that made him unforgettable, not just as an artist, but as a human being. In his final months, many of these qualities became more visible. His love for simplicity, his quiet reflections, his reserved but genuine interactions, they painted a picture of a man both at peace and at conflict. It's heartbreaking to think of what he endured silently, but it's also important to honor the beauty of how he lived. His lifestyle before the tragedy was not about grandeur, but about meaning. Every quiet choice, every simple act, every private moment revealed someone who was searching deeply for peace. While the world often remembers celebrities for their fame, Yu Menglong should also be remembered for his humanity. As fans continue to grieve, revisiting his quiet life gives us perspective. It reminds us that stars are not invincible. They are human beings, carrying the same fears, hopes, and dreams as anyone else. For Yu Menglong, life was about more than applause. It was about finding love, seeking peace, and cherishing the little things. His story is a reminder for us all. Take time for yourself, appreciate your loved ones, and never be afraid to live life at your own pace. Because in the end, It's not the noise or the fame that matters, it's the quiet moments that define who we are. So as we honor Yu Menglong, let's not only remember the tragedy, but also the gentle beauty of his life. The laughter he shared, the music he created, the kindness he showed, and the quiet strength he carried. These are the legacies that remain. This is K-Drama Cycle, and we will continue to share the stories that go beyond the headlines, stories that remind us of the humanity behind the fame. Yu Menglong's quiet life was his true masterpiece. And even though he's gone, his essence, his lessons, and his love for simplicity will forever live on in the hearts of his fans.